The current thing making headlines right now in Russia's agricultural sector is their enormous wheat crop that's being harvested and coming out in the 2016-2017 season. And it's a record crop for Russia, and they're expected to export enormous amounts, overtaking Europe and the United States in the world's top exports. The one thing, though, is that the quality of these exports and this crop is not what was initially expected. Much of the excess over previous year's crops is in the feed grain quality versus that used for milling, and that's causing supply problems within Russia. But as I just mentioned in the answer to the previous question, it's that the quality is not up to snuff, basically. And basically in Russia, wheat prices are falling, but because of inflation and the devaluation of the ruble, input costs are rising, and they're expected to rise again next year as well. And that makes it very difficult for farmers and producers to get the quality of grain that they need to compete to produce the higher qualities, the ones used to make bread. And that's why we're seeing supply issues, especially in the Russian domestic market, because those higher class, the class 3, the class 4 grains fetch a greater price on the export market. Exporters are holding those and not giving them to the Russian domestic market. And that's causing supply problems there. The agricultural sector and its production levels fell very hard when the Soviet Union did, but it's been slowly climbing out of that hole since. Frankly, Russia's a giant country, and land, even though much of it is frozen, is still one of Russia's greatest resources. So there's a lot of room for increased production in that sense. However, the demographic decline has the potential to constrain that growth. Without workers, it's hard to produce food. And so Russia will have to invest in automation, in mechanization, in just updating their agricultural sector. And we see that in some areas, but primarily more high value agricultural goods, vegetables, fruits, dairy, meat, rather than the staples that have been, the wheat that has been the staple of Russian agricultural production for so long. But without that investment from the government, which is already extremely budgetarily constrained right now, and we don't see that improving in the near future, it's going to be hard for Russia to make the necessary investments.